Hey, you. Yep, I'm talking to you. You're getting hungry. Very hungry. Your mouth is watering. You have a craving. A craving for Doritos. A craving for crunchy tacos. Well, have I got this treat for you. It's that time again. It's grill time, baby. Come on in tomorrow only to get your charcoal for 50% off. Choose your favorite smoker. That's 20% off. 3453 North Kimball in Chicago, Illinois. Remember, this sale is for one day only. Now that's how you save big money. It's selling out fast and secure. Your tickets now. The first annual 1043 2018 Hip Hop Fallback Jam Session. It's something you don't want to miss. Hey, it's Danaya, Azure, and you are now tuned in to No Filter Radio with your host, Dope as Music. Afternoon. Hello. Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to the Azure Radio. So, I'm going to give my quick thoughts on this whole Breonna Taylor situation. So, it came back that only one of the officers was charged, and they weren't even charged with killing her. They were charged because their bullet went into someone else's apartment. So I've been very clear about this whole situation. My thing about this whole thing is that, let's be honest, the world doesn't respect Black women, and they don't give a damn when we get killed. Hey, Unfiltered Muffy, how are you? Let's be very clear. Had this been let's start with why we didn't know anything about the situation first. So think about it. So Breonna Taylor was a essential worker. She was a nurse. When she was killed, she it was right when the pandemic first started. So they tried to keep this under wraps because, you know, their whole bullshit about we love essential workers and essential workers are heroes and they're saving our lives and all this stuff. That whole narrative would have been down the drain had we found out that the police killed an essential worker. And that's what a lot of people don't understand. It's like, well, why didn't they say anything? Because that would have killed their narrative that they actually gave a damn about essential workers, and they don't. Because if they actually gave a damn about essential workers, they would have given them hazard pay when they were the only ones allowed to go to work during when the pandemic was first at its heaviest. But then again, that would have required the rest of the country to all be shut down at once, and that would have required the person that's in charge right now, that's sitting in the White House, to be honest about the situation, which of course he was not. So we have the whole situation with Breonna Taylor, which is incredibly frustrating. Hello, Harper Sean, how are you? And the situation with Breonna Taylor was incredibly frustrating because everybody knows she did nothing wrong. Now, I would like to know if they even had the right address. But, oh, you're good, Mama, no worries. I would like to know if they even had the right address or if he ever was getting mail there or if they legit just had the wrong freaking letter. Like, we would never know because there's no one to vouch for that. And it's sad. It's a very, very sad situation because I don't know about y'all, but I'm tired of having this same conversation. I have questions for the prosecutor on why he didn't go for manslaughter as opposed to murder. Because I think what a lot of these prosecutors do is they go with what the public wants, but the public doesn't know the law like that. And everybody's saying, you know, it's a murder charge, it's a murder charge. But you have to prove murder in a case. You know.
You have to prove murder in a trial. You have to prove your case within without a shadow of a doubt. If there's a shadow of a doubt, that's what people get off. Why do you think that freaking Z-Man in Florida is still walking around selling? Because they went after him with a murder charge when they should have always gone after him for manslaughter. Although we all feel like it's murder because of the way that it was done, the intent was not to kill Trayvon. Unfortunately, the intent was to scare him and get him locked up. He killed him because he's a little pussy ass bitch, and when he got bested by a child, he felt some kind of way. That's why he killed him. Let's be very, very clear about the situation. Because I think what the issue is that people aren't listening and they don't get it. And it's really, really incredibly frustrating because there's no reason why he should be dead. There's definitely no reason Breonna Taylor should be dead. And what's the most frustrating thing about this entire situation is that they had the person that they were looking for at the station. All it took was a phone call. It literally took, to avoid this whole situation, all they had to do was call the station. All they had to do was call the station. It's absolutely disgusting. Okay, so hold on. Let me see. Look, I got this article also. And so, hold on 1 second. Okay, so apparently she was dating him. Dating the gentleman that did do whatever the hell they're claiming he did. I guess he was a little drug dealer or whatnot. Hold on 1 second. She said, Habashan said, you are correct. They are overcharging people just so they can get off. And that's the thing. So the question is, are these prosecutors doing exactly what Habashan's saying and doing it because they never wanted to charge him in the first place, and they're only doing it because they don't want the country to burn? Well, we've already done that, so I'm confused on why we didn't just do it right. So as I'm looking at this article, I just sent an article. Shout out to K First Entertainment. He sent me an article talking about. I'll just read it real quick. So it says Breonna Taylor's ex was offered a plea deal that said she was part of a quote-unquote crime syndicate, the family's attorney says. For months, says Breonna Taylor has risen to nationwide prominence as a symbol of racial injustice and police impunity. Her name was uttered by crowds of demonstrators and top politicians, her face appearing on banners, basketball jerseys, magazine covers. Louisville prosecutors have continued to prosecute her ex-boyfriend, whose suspected drug trafficking led police to raid her apartment and fatally shoot her. Taylor's family and lawyers have insisted that she had nothing to do with Jamarcus Glover's alleged crimes. With little evidence against her and no previous criminal record, they say she was only pulled into the case through her ties to Glover, whom she had cut off before her killing. Yet in July, Louisville prosecutors offered Glover a plea bargain, one that could turn a possible 10-year-old prison sentence into probation. That said, oh, it's an agenda. Oh, it's definitely an agenda, child. Probation. That said Taylor had participated in his organized crime syndicate, according to records reported by the WDRB television on Monday. Hold on 1 second. Glover's attorney, Scott Barton, told the Washington Post that prosecutors were fine providing an alternative version that did not name Taylor. They did not suggest that mentioning Taylor would lead to a better deal, he said. But Glover told the Louisville Courier-Journal in a Monday night interview that officials wanted him to falsely impugn Taylor and Sam Aguirre A Louisville attorney representing Taylor's family in a wrongful death suit slammed the offer, calling it part of a smear campaign. Aguilar said the offer shows local officials are desperate to justify Taylor's killing. Shame on that office, Aguilar wrote on Facebook. She's dead. Way to try and attack a woman when she's not even here to defend herself. Tom, yeah, Tom Wine, the Jefferson County Commonwealth's attorney, argued that the offer was a draft brought up during negotiations and denied that Taylor would ever be indicted as a quote unquote co-defendant, as she described, yeah, as she is described under facts of the case in a photo of the plea offer that Aguilar shared on social media. A spokesman for Wine did not dispute the document's veracity, but said it was quickly amended. Our office has not and does not posthumously indict any person who is deceased. Wine said in a statement on Monday. When I was advised of the discussion, I directed that Miss Breonna Taylor's name be removed. Glover, age 30, who has vouched for Taylor's innocence, failed to show up to court to accept any plea deal. But news of the offer has inflamed tensions as Glover's case, and by proxy the events that led up to Taylor's killing, continues to make its way through the courts. Protesters continue demanding accountability. By now, the details of what happened to Taylor on March 13th, so it was, it wasn't January, it was March. On March 13th, are well established. A young emergency room technician and aspiring nurse, she and her boyfriend, Kenneth Walker, were asleep in her apartment when they heard someone coming through the door. 3 plainclothes officers, Jonathan Mattingly, Brett Hankinson, and Miles Cosgrove, all white, had entered a no-knock search warrant, the Louisville Courier-Journal reported. After Walker let off one shot, fearing the police were intruders, the officers responded with more than 20, including multiple that hit Breonna Taylor and killed her. Now let me get this straight. So you came in with a no-knock warrant. You came in with a no-knock warrant, not even knowing the dude was there. Her boyfriend, who was protecting his girlfriend, shot off maybe 2 rounds. Y'all came back with 20? 20. Okay. And then killed an innocent person. Great. Less examined in the accounts has been Glover's role. He and Taylor had been seeing each other intermittently for years, according to the New York Times, and she paid or arranged bail for him several times and remained in contact with Glover as he was secretly surveilled by the police. GPS trackers on Glover's car showed him visiting her apartment, and police photos showed her at a suspected drug house. After he was arrested in the hours following Taylor's death, he told several people in calls from jail that he had left thousands of dollars at her home, according to the Courier-Journal. Still, Aguilar, as well as many activists and activist leaders and the Kentucky American Civil Liberties Union, said police lacked enough evidence to conduct a raid on Taylor's apartment, especially with the no-knock warrant. So basically, with no-knock warrants means the person that you are looking for is so dangerous that you can't even let them know that you're there to arrest them because you were in fear for your life. This was not the case in this situation by any means. When you have a no-knock warrant, typically it's of people that are like major drug kingpins and they've got hostages in the house, and you don't want to startle them, and because you don't want to cost lives. That's the purpose for a no-knock warrant. I.e., they never should have had no-knock warrant in this situation by any means. When they did enter her residence, Critics have said police failed to follow key protocols, such as staging an ambulance nearby that could have saved her. A property log indicates police did not find money or drugs at Taylor's home after the raid, according to the Courier Journal. Breonna Taylor's death was a tragedy, period, point blank. Louisville Mayor Greg Fisher wrote on Twitter. Aguilar, who has previously accused Louisville police of going to great lengths to dig up Taylor's past, said the plea fell into a larger pattern. As a part of the July 13th offer, WDRB reported Glover would have had to attest through late April. He and several co-defendants, including Taylor, trafficked large quantities of drugs into Louisville community. Taylor was not mentioned as a co-defendant in court records or in the official plea deal presented to Glover, said Wine, the Jefferson County Commonwealth's attorney. Glover's attorney, Barton, said prosecutors provided another version that did not name Taylor either at the same time or shortly after, sending the version that called her a co-defendant. He said he could not find emails verifying the timing. He remembers speaking with Glover about the officer. Hold on, my cat. So the offer. Get out. For the offer naming Taylor and quickly rejecting it. We were never going to accept anything with Breonna's names on it, he told the Post. Glover, who was last arrested on Thursday, told the Courier Journal Taylor was not involved in selling drugs, which we all knew. What the fuck, really? In one jailhouse call, he said police had no business looking for him at her house. Let me say that again. The whole reason that Breonna Taylor's killed is because her ex. So now we have to confirm she was dating this fool at some point. But the person who caused this whole mess says, and I quote, he said the police had no business looking for him at her house. At the end of the day, I know she didn't do nothing to deserve none of this shit, he said, according to WDRB. Speaking to the Courier Journal Monday from Louisville Metro Corrections, Glover objected to Wine's characterization of the plea offer naming Taylor as just a quote-unquote draft. How is it a draft and they wanted me to sign it? So they're claiming it's a draft, and he said, well, if it's a draft, why would you want me to sign something? Glover told the newspaper, you don't put no draft in front of nobody, right? Because when you're working on a draft of whether it be for an agreement or whether it be for a plea deal, the draft is what the lawyers would see, never the actual client. The client shouldn't even know about it until the client should know about any kind of legal document until it's done. So Aguilar also emphasized that the document could have moved forward. If Jamarcus Glover had accepted it, it would have been final, so long as the court approved it. He wrote in an email to the Post, it was obviously presented to Jamarcus Glover. It is absolutely disgusting that the prosecutors went to this level. This whole situation is absolutely disgusting, absolutely appalling. I'm confused on why people think that it's okay to treat Black women this way. Like I said, the only reason they did not try to talk about the situation is because they knew that it would kill that whole essential workers are the bomb and we love them and we appreciate them and yay essential workers, but we killed you because we don't know how to communicate and we don't know when it's right to issue a no-knock warrant and all of these things at once. We didn't know about this because it would have hurt their narrative, not because they gave a damn. And that there is the issue. But that's always the issue. It's always about their agenda and what they want us to believe. I have questions for the prosecutor. Why in the world did you choose to give this man a murder charge as opposed to manslaughter? Did you not want it to stick? If that's the case, then maybe you should rethink your career as well. And every single prosecutor that's allowed these people to get off continuously, maybe y'all might want to rethink your careers because maybe you're just not fit for this job, honey. Maybe this is not the job for you right now. It's very possible. It's very possible that you're just not ready, right? Because if you're not going to do the job properly, then why are you here? If you're not going to do the job properly, what is the point? Just absolutely. Sad. Sad, 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 sad. The question is, where do we go from here? How do we heal? How, after all this mess, can we heal? Can we grow? Can we thrive through all of this? And the answer is yes. We have to learn to appreciate and love one another so that the next time someone thinks about doing something like this, they'll think twice because they'll know for a fact that it won't be accepted and they will lose everything. Because until we get to the point where these cops and vigilantes are losing everything for real, they're going to continue it because they know that somebody's going to agree with them. So we got to get to the point where it's when you agree with these people that are committing murder against our people for no reason, they're held accountable, whether it be in the public eye or in the legal system. At this point, I don't care. Because from what I'm seeing, the legal system isn't taking care of business very well. So if we have to get to the point where we're making them accountable in the public eye, that works for me too. But we also have to get to the point where we stop blaming the victim because that shit gets old real fucking quick. The person that cannot defend themselves is not our enemy. The person who killed the person that can no longer defend themselves is our enemy. And once we get past victim blaming, we will be so much better off. So, anywho, that's my 2 cents on the whole Breonna Taylor situation. Might do a panel about the lack of respect that Black women get later on, but not today because I gotta get back to the studio. But anywho, you guys can follow me on Instagram, Twitter, Periscope, and Snapchat at Danaya Azure. That's DANAYAAZURE, like the Facebook page, facebook.com/Danaya Danaya Designs for You, Facebook.com/K for Rest Entertainment, Facebook.com/ Danaya Azure Radio. And so I'm going to get on out of here now, and then later on I might come back and do a quick little biz card scope where I'm talking about all the brands that I support and why you need to follow them because they're freaking awesome. All right, you guys have a wonderful day. Peace and blessings, and continue to express what makes you unique.